William Morrow and HarperAudio present The Windsor Conspiracy, a novel of the Crown, a conspiracy, and the Duchess of Windsor, by Georgie Blalock. Performed by Anne-Marie Gideon. To Grandmaster Floyd Burke and my Trad-Am karate family, for the friendship, strength, and peace you've given me through training. Chapter 1. Château de Condé, France, May 12, 1937. Since the beginning of the service, Her Majesty the Queen has been sitting in the chair of estate. Now she moves forward for her anointing. The BBC radio announcer's voice crackled over the wireless and echoed off the oak-paneled walls and old books of the Château de Condé library. Heavy rain ran down the windows and obscured the view of the sprawling chateau grounds, adding to the room's heavy chill. The Queen kneels at the altar. The Archbishop will pour the holy oil upon the crown of her head. He will put the Queen's ring on the fourth finger of her right hand. Wallis Simpson tightened her fingers into a fist beneath her chin, and the 19-carat square-cut emerald engagement ring from the Duke of Windsor glinted in the lamplight. Wallis stared, stone-faced, at the large zenith radio, but Amelia caught the slight deepening of the small creases at the corners of her mouth and the tightness in her already severe jaw. Amelia could practically hear her cousin thinking, "That should have been me." "Mrs. Simpson, Monsieur Manbouchet has arrived for your fitting," Mr. Hale, the Bedoux's English butler, announced, in a baritone voice worthy of a radio announcer contract. "Not now!" the Duke of Windsor snapped, worrying his triple-band pinky ring. Fern Bedeaux flinched, and Mr. Edward Metcalfe and his wife exchanged a quick glance. Even Detto, Prizey, and Pookie, the Duke and Wallis's cairn terriers, kept to the hearthrug instead of his lap. The Duke's brother and sister-in-law were being crowned in Westminster Abbey instead of him and Wallis. "The Archbishop brings the crown from the altar and sets it upon the Queen's head," the BBC announcer continued. Aunt Bessie, one side of her aged face slack from a stroke a few years ago, caught Amelia's eyes and nodded at Mr. Hale. Amelia jumped to her feet and hurried through the adjoining salon de musique. She nodded to the maids polishing the herringbone wood floor in preparation for the upcoming nuptials between the ex-King of England and the woman he'd given up his throne to marry. Amelia stopped in the dark-paneled dining room and drew in a deep breath. "This is my job now." She sighed, then stepped into the chateau entryway. "Good morning, Monsieur Manbouchet. Mrs. Simpson is occupied at present, but will be with you shortly. If you'll follow me, I'll escort you to her dressing room." "And you are?" The American-born couturier stared down his aquiline nose at Amelia. His two chic assistants affected the same arrogant air. Even the one carrying the garment bag with Wallis's wedding dress eyed Amelia as if she were one of the contemptible throng of press crowding the chateau gates. "Amelia Bradford," she whispered, then cleared her throat and spoke up. "Mrs. Simpson's new private secretary." She didn't mention she was also Wallis's third cousin. Her plain brown wool skirt and jacket already made her look like a poor relation. "If you'll follow me?" "Of course." He motioned for her to lead the way. "Whatever is she wearing?" the assistant in the tailored gray suit asked her companion in French, as Amelia led them down the narrow Norman stone hallway with its wood-beam ceiling and up the spiral stone staircase to the second floor. "Something she found in the bottom of an old trunk," the other woman sneered. Amelia understood them perfectly. She'd excelled in French at Oldfields, baffling her mother, who'd wondered what she'd do with an education. "If Mother could see me now, she'd be shocked," Amelia mused. Assuming her mother could muster enough interest in her youngest child to care, Mother had barely noticed her before Father's death. Afterward, Amelia had been little more than an unwanted and embarrassing nuisance. "Taisez-vous," Monsieur Manbouchet commanded when they reached the second floor, and the assistants stopped their snide remarks. He smoothed his
Sample complete. Ready to continue?